Here's my new Briggs Stratton P2200 inverter generator. Really liking it. I've used it on one trip in the RV so far. It's got about 4 hours on it, mostly charging batteries and running my microwave. A couple of little niggling issues with it, pretty minor, but I'll show them to you anyway. First of all, when it arrived and I took the cover off to add the oil, I found one screw here was actually bent. And it was difficult to get out because it was jamming in the plastic. You can see now that it looks like it's only halfway in, even though it's all the way in, whereas this one's fine. So I called Briggs Stratton and they said they're going to send me a new screw. That's fine. And what's the other thing? A couple of rattles, pretty irritating, minor but irritating. This cover is loose on the spark plug here, so it vibrates. I put a piece of tape under the edge here as a shim, which quieted that up. I also noticed that this little gas spill cover here is vibrating, so I will shim it as well. I don't think that's a good enough reason to take it back. You'll hear that when I start it in a second. And other than that, it seems to be working great. I just did its first oil change. I did it at 4 hours. The original oil that I put in when it came was quite dirty and black, and I put in 5W40 T6 Rotella, which I think is the best oil I've ever used in all my power equipment and motorcycles. Okay, let's fire it up. You probably know already how it works, but there's the switch here for the fuel and the ignition, both combined in one. And it's already warm, so the choke here is in the warm position, fully open. I have this 1500 watt heater hooked up. Of course, it's not on yet. All right. And the this is in the off position. Idle setting, I'll set it to 750 watts on the heater. I'm going to kick this up to normal speed and put the heater to 1500 watts. You will see that the overload light will flash intermittently, but will stop as soon as the voltage comes back up. It might sound louder than it really is because of where I'm filming it here under the veranda, but I compared it to a friend's Honda 2000 inverter, and it's very similar, especially at a distance of about 25 feet. They both sounded about the same to us. So this is pretty good bang for the buck. Overall, I'm pretty happy with it, especially for the money. It's about half the price of a Honda or Yamaha. I know it's not as good a quality, but I think it's pretty darn good. So if you're thinking about buying a Briggs & Stratton, go ahead.